Welcome back, guys. I'm Mark Wong, and today we are in the tech room, your trusty companion for all things tech. Whether you're a tech enthusiast looking for the latest innovations or a casual user seeking honest reviews, you've come to the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the realm of gadgets, gaming consoles, PCs, and more. In this video, we will be reviewing the ASUS ROG Strix G16. The Strix G16 is a mid-range gaming laptop that performs well across the board with a competitive price point to match. To help you further, there are timestamps and direct links to all the products in the description below. So let's get started. Design-wise, the ASUS Strix G16 in Eclipse Gray boasts a subtle finish distinct from the more vibrant Volt Green alternative with its striking green accents. Despite its subdued appearance, the gray finish of the laptop maintains a touch of flair with an RGB light bar along the front. The plastic interior also feels robust and smooth, exhibiting minimal flex under pressure. One thing I'd like to highlight is the lid's design, which facilitates effortless one-finger opening. However, I encountered a minor issue with the left hinge emitting a noise during operation, possibly indicating internal friction. While this might raise concerns about long-term durability, I feel assured that this is an isolated issue. Lastly, despite its larger 16-inch size, the Strix G16 remains relatively compact compared to typical 15-inch gaming laptop. In terms of size, the ASUS Strix G16 is slightly thicker at the back compared to some other models. For the laptop's weight, it clocks in at about 5.21 pounds or 2.4 kilograms, a figure that increases to 7.1 pounds or 3.2 kilograms when including the 280-watt charger. Although this sounds hefty at worst, the laptop actually feels nice to the touch, which lends to it being easier to carry, if that makes any sense. There are also variations in power brick size, with lower spec models typically featuring smaller bricks compared to higher spec configurations. So if you do go for a lower spec model, you won't worry about carrying around a heavy power brick wherever you go. Now, let's talk about the laptop's keyboard, RGB lighting, and touchpad. The Strix G16's keyboard comes with 4 zones of RGB backlighting, illuminating all keys and secondary functions. While this design initially seems stylish, it can make reading the key labels challenging depending on the lighting conditions. Key brightness can be adjusted across 3 levels or turned off entirely using the F2 and F3 shortcut keys. Additionally, pressing the Aura key on F4 allows users to cycle through 5 built-in lighting effects, including control over the front light bar. The R Creator software also lets users personalize lighting settings further, including control of the light bar for more extensive customization. As for the keys themselves, they offer 1.9 millimeters of key travel and a satisfying clicky feel during typing. My nitpick with it is the slightly shorter right shift key, which may be a minor annoyance for some users. Barring that, the keyboard is quite great across the board, with additional keys available for adjusting volume, muting the microphone, changing performance modes, and accessing Armory Crate, the laptop's control panel software. One thing to note though is that the lighting may appear uneven or patchy, particularly on certain keys such as QW, ERA, SDF, and the spacebar, which are transparent. The touchpad, which is now 10% larger compared to previous models, is great at providing a comfortable clicking experience. Although promotional images and ASUS's website suggest the inclusion of a built-in numpad on the touchpad, this feature appears to be absent in our unit for unspecified reasons. As for port selection, the ASUS ROG Strix G16 has it all. The majority of ports are conveniently located on the left side of the laptop. These include the power input, gigabit Ethernet, HDMI 2.1 output, and several USB ports. Of particular note, the Type-C port closest to the front supports charging for the laptop, providing added convenience. However, it's important to mention that the Thunderbolt 4 port situated toward the back does not support laptop charging. If we're talking about upgradeability in the future, the laptop is also quite modification friendly. Delving into the internals of the ASUS Strix G16, it requires removing screws to access components such as the battery memory slots and SSD storage. I'm glad to report that everything is upgradable from the solid state storage, DDR5 RAM and battery. The laptop's M.2 slot support up to 4 terabyte drives, which is quite future-proof for a few years at least. As for the RAM, they can be upgraded up to 64 gigabytes, which is a whole lot for your gaming needs. Now let me quickly talk about the ASUS Strix G16 features front-facing speakers and battery performance. The speakers, which are directional, produce clear audio, although bass levels diminish at higher volumes. It's not particularly good, but it's not particularly bad either. Can get the job done in a pinch. Although I'd expect you already have your favorite pair of headphones on or an external speaker system set up in your gaming room for this. Regarding battery performance, the laptop offers satisfactory longevity, lasting approximately 5 hours during video playback and around 1 hour and 50 minutes during gaming sessions. Again, not particularly noteworthy, but it performs right up there with some of the other gaming flagships from other companies. For the highlights section, I think the laptop performs well in terms of heat management. The ASUS Strix G16 boasts a robust thermal cooling system featuring multiple fans and heat pipes to effectively dissipate heat. It does this by having a third fan dedicated to cooling the GPU and VRAM. This way, the laptop effectively expels hot air out of the back, creating a heatsink-like effect. Air is also exhausted from the left and right sides of the device, facilitated by ample air intake holes on the bottom panel, equipped with dust filters to keep the whole thing clean. While thermal throttling was detected under extreme stress conditions, the laptop maintained stable performance during typical usage scenarios. And by typical usage sessions, I mean moderate to heavy gaming sessions on top of having multiple tabs open on Chrome. Now it's time to get to the meat of the review, which is the specs and preliminary gaming performance. Spec-wise, the laptop boasts a state-of-the-art i7-13650HX processor, which features the same number of P&E cores as 12th or 13th Gen H series chips. Thanks to the high CPU power limits achievable in manual mode, the multi-core performance is exceptional, marking it as one of our best 14-core results, excluding water cooling tests. On top of that, the laptop features a GeForce RTX 4060 graphics card, which can be configured up to RTX 4090. During actual gaming sessions, there was minimal variance in FPS across the top 3 performance modes. However, it's worth noting that the CPU can draw even more power, leading to thermal throttling when the GPU is idle, such as in Cinebench tests. With overdrive enabled, the Strix G16 boasts an average gray-to-gray response time of 3.7 milliseconds, comfortably below the 4.17 milliseconds threshold needed for smooth transitions within the 240 Hz refresh rate window. Disabling overdrive slows the response time, but eliminates overshoot and undershoot, offering a balance between speed and accuracy. In terms of total system latency, which measures the delay between a mouse click and the corresponding action appearing on the screen, the Strix G16 performs admirably. While there may be minor differences between this and other laptops, it remains competitive. One thing to highlight is how ASUS incorporates a MUX switch, which lets users disable Optimus mode by setting Ultimate mode. With Advanced Optimus, users can switch between integrated and discrete graphics seamlessly, leveraging the benefits of G-Sync when Optimus is disabled even with lower tier full HD panels. Now, when you're operating solely on battery power, performance takes a hit, particularly in multi-core tasks. While this doesn't exactly come as a shock, it's worth noting that the multi-core score suffered quite significantly. Before we go on to more gaming tests, let's talk about the magnificent screen on this thing. As evident from its name, the Strix G16 transitions to a larger 16-inch screen this year, a trend seen in many laptops. Sporting a 16:10 aspect ratio, it offers a taller display with more vertical pixels and reduced bottom chin. Available with either 2560x1600 Nebula display or a more budget-friendly 1920x1200 option, the screen quality is remarkable. The Nebula display boasts an impressive color gamut, catering not only to gamers but also content creators. Despite not hitting ASUS's claimed 500 nits brightness at full capacity, it still offers a decent level of brightness, although some variability may exist due to panel differences. One notable highlight is the absence of backlight bleed, indicating solid panel construction. Additionally, the Armory Crate software enables panel overdrive by default, enhancing response times for smoother visuals. Last but not least, let's take a look at more gaming tests and benchmarks. The Strix G16 demonstrates impressive gaming performance across various titles. In Red Dead Redemption 2, it achieves an average of 84 FPS at 1080p resolution with maximum settings even with ray tracing enabled, showcasing its ability to handle demanding graphics while maintaining smooth gameplay. Additionally, in Grand Theft Auto 5, it achieves an average of 116 FPS at 1080p resolution with ultra settings. And there you have it, folks, our review of the ASUS ROG Strix G16. If you liked this video and it helped you in any way, please do give it a like and hit the subscribe button. If you have a question or a product you want us to review, be sure to drop your recommendations in the comments below. Until next time, this is Mark signing off, reminding you to stay connected and updated with all of our research into everything that makes our tech rooms great.